بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Jama al-Sa'adat, and inshallah today we have a discussion about taslim and then a discussion about the role that Salat can play in our reception of knowledge and ma'rifah. Then inshallah next session we will talk about Imamul Jama'ah, about the spiritual manners that Imam of Jama'ah should observe. So first taslim. We already talked about tashahhud. Now we are talking about taslim. As you know, in the last rak'ah after tashahhud we have salam. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi as-salihin. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Some are mustahab, some are wajib, depending on your marja. You can find out in the risala of your relevant marja. So let's see what should we observe, what we should keep in mind when we are saying our salams at the end of salat. Faslun at-taslim. وَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ عَنَ التَّشَهُّدِ. After you finish and complete your tashahhud in the last rak'ah, because in salats which are 3 rak'ah or 4 rak'ah we have 2 tashahhuds. But we are talking about the tashahhud, the last rak'ah. After that, so you have to be present in the presence of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the angels and other prophets and imams, and also in particular not only malaikatul muqarrabin but also those angels who are registering your actions. Al-hafadhatu laka min al-malaika, those angels who are registering. Al-muhsin al-a'malik, those who do ihsa, they register and they count your amal. So you must be in the presence and bring them into your mind. وَأَحْذِرْهُمْ جَمِيعًا فِي بَالِكَ, bring all of them in your mind. So when you have such understanding, فَسَلِّمْ أَوَّلًا عَلَى نَبِيِّكَ. First you say السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. So you say first salam to your Prophet, الذي هو أفضل الكل, who is the best among these. وَوَاسِطَةُ هِدَايَتِكَ وَإِيمَانِكَ, he is the one that your guidance from Allah came to you through him. He is wasita, he is the medium for receiving guidance and having iman. بِقَوْلِكَ السَّلَامُ عَلَيْكَ أَيُّهَا النَّبِيُّ وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ وَبَرَكَاتُهُ. Then you would pay attention to yourself and, for example, other servants of Allah. Then you'd pay attention to others. توجه إلى الجميع وسلم عليهم بقولك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. But when you say Assalamu alaikum or Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi, when you address, then the one that you are talking to and addressing should be present in your mind. You should not just say something without meaning it. Otherwise, you would be min al-abithina wal-la'ibin. You would be one of those people who do things in vain and would be doing like in a game, like a play. You cannot talk to someone and address someone without meaning that person. And had it not been that Allah has favor upon us, such salam could be a disaster, and actually would be something that would not only would not help us, rather, but not only would not be able to help us, rather would be lowering our position. And if you are imam and you are saying Salatul Jama'ah, of course, this is different from the section which comes next week about, we have a whole chapter about imam. Here, just about salam. Then when you say Assalamu alaikum, you mean people who are with you in that congregation, and you say salam to them, or you mean your salam in the first place would reach them. When you do this, فَقَدْ أَدَّيْتُمْ وَظِيفَةَ السَّلَامِ, you have carried out your duty of salam, and you qualify to receive more ikram from Allah. So Allah would honor you and be more generous with you. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, معنى التسليم في دبر كل صلاة الأمان. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, the meaning of saying salam in the end of every salat is aman. Aman, protection, safety. This means من أتى أمر الله وسنة نبيه خاضعا خاشعا منه فله الأمان من بلاء الدنيا والبراءة من عذاب الآخرة. Means that if you have done your salat with khudu and khushu, now when you say salam, you get protection from bala' dunya, calamities of dunya, and protection from punishment of the hereafter. Wassalam ismun min asma'illah ta'ala. Salam is one of the names of Allah. In Surah Hashr, we say, Al-Malikul Quddus Salamul Mu'minul Muhaymin. So it's one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah has made this available to us. Awda'ahu khalqa. He has entrusted or deposited us with His name, so that in our mu'amalat, interactions, in our amanat, when entrust something to other people, when we are asking for fairness, when, for example, it's a matter of friendship, we all say salam to each other. And if this salam is well understood, it's not just a formality, it's not just a protocol. This salam has deep meaning that I want peace for you, I want protection for you. Nothing harmful comes from me to you, no bad intention from me for you. And indeed, I am praying to Allah to give you safety and protection. فَإِنْ أَرَدْتَ أَنْ تَضَعَ السَّلَامَ مَوْضَعَهُ وَتُؤَدِّيَ مَعْنَاهُ. If you want to put salam in its right place and deliver its meaning, فَاتَّقِ اللَّهِ, you have to be muttaqi, so that your deen remains safe, your heart would be safe, your aql would be safe, and that is by obedience to Allah, by not committing sin. And also the angels who are hafadha, who are registering, by being muttaqi, you don't upset them, by forcing them to register, to witness and then register sins and bad things. Then your friends would be safe. And even your enemy should be safe with respect to injustice, etc., that you know that you are not going to be doing injustice to him. And if you are not able to protect people who are close, then people who are farther away would be in more difficult situation. And if someone doesn't put salam in this position that we said, فَلَا salam, وَلَا islam, وَلَا taslim. His salam has no value, his Islam has no value, and his taslim of salat has no value. وَكَانَ كَاذِبًا فِي سَلَامِهِ. He is a liar when he offers peace to people and is hurting them and annoying them. وَإِنْ أَفْشَاهُ فِي الْخَيْرِ. Although he may do afsha salam is recommended, to say salam clearly so that people understand, when I meet you I should say salam to you. But if he doesn't mean this and doesn't act accordingly, then he is not saying salam, he's a liar. So this chapter was about taslim. We have another chapter today, and that is, as I said, about the impact, the outcome of salat with respect to ma'rifah, to certain types of knowledge. Faslun. إفاضة الأنوار على المصلي على قدر صفاته. Lights will be granted to the musalli who is saying his prayer proportionate to his qualities. Mullah Muhammad Mahdi al-Naraqi rahmatullah alayhi says, اعلم أن تخليص الصلاة عن الآفات وإخلاصها لوجه الله وأداءها بالشروط الباطنة المذكورة من الحضور والخشوع والتعظيم والهيبة والحياء سبب لحصول أنوار في القلب. A very beautiful point, very fundamental and very beneficial. He says, if you purify your salat from bad things, afat, obstacles and things that affect salat negatively, and you purify it for the face of God, means for the sake of God, and bring it with those shurut batina, not only shurut zahira. Shurut zahira are what we study in fiqh, but that shurut with those conditions which are internal and hidden, the ones that we have talked about it, and he lists min al-hudur, presence of heart, khushu', humility, ta'zim, revering and respecting Allah, hayba, having this awe towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, haya, positive shame. These, if are observed, تخليص الصلاة عن الآفات وإخلاصها لوجه الله وأداؤها بالشروط الباطنة, if these happen, these cause حصول أنوار في القلب, some lights will be projected to your heart. تكون تلك الأنوار مفاتيح للعلوم الباطنة. They will be, those lights will be keys for hidden kinds of knowledge to come to you. وإنما يفيض منه على كل مصل على قدر صفائه من كدورات الدنيا. How much these lights will be given? It depends on how much safa. Safa means purity. Safi, when water is very clean and very transparent, they say al-ma'u safi. Safa, safi. for taswiya, for purification, refining, they call taswiya. So, depending on how much heart of musalli is pure and clean from kudurat. Kudurat are those darknesses that this hubb dunya would cause. And this can vary بالقلة والكثرة والقوة والضعف والجلاء. Some people may have more, some people less, some people may have a strong sense, some people weaker sense, some people maybe have it with jala, with shining, some people maybe khafa is hidden. But more or less, depending on how much you have purified your heart, you get these lights. And then يختلف أيضا بما ينكشف من العلوم. So the strength and degree of this light is changing and varying. Also, what knowledge you receive, what are those ma'lumat, those subjects that you will know if you do your salat properly. He says those sciences, those things that would be disclosed would be different. For some people, attributes of God, glory of God would be disclosed. يختلف أيضا بما ينكشف من العلوم فينكشف لبعضهم من صفات الله وجلاله. For some of the musallin, qualities of Allah, glory of Allah will be disclosed. وَلِبَعْضِهِمْ مِنْ عَجَائِبِ أَفْعَالِهِ. Some of them would be able to understand and see without hijab, for example, some wonders of his actions. وَلِبَعْضِهِمْ مِنْ دَقَائِقِ عُلُومِ الْمُعَامَلَةِ. Some of them would understand subtle points about, mu'amala with people, for example, how to interact with people. وَلِبَعْضِهِمْ غَيْرُ ذَلِكَ. Some people understand other things. Maybe someone understands Quran better, for example. وَأَوْلَى بِالظُّهُورِ وَالْإِضَافَةِ. أَوْلَى بِالظُّهُورِ وَالْإِضَافَةِ لِكُلِّ شَخْصٍ مَا يَهُمُّهُ. Among things that are more likely to know is those things that this musalli was himself very concerned about them, those things that he was really trying to understand. If there are issues that you are really interested in understanding, salat can help you, inshallah, to get light to understand them. Those things that yahummu was his concern, was important for him. يَكُونُ فِي طَلَبِهِ. He was searching for it. And then he says, إِلَى مَا ذَكَرْنَا, to what we have said, which is some al-ifadat al-ilviya. Ilviya means from high. Some of these ifadat, some of these, you can say inspirations and gracious inspirations coming from top, from high to the person because of salat, which is performed properly. So to this hadith has referred to. There's a hadith from Prophet that refers to this. Hadith says, إِنَّ الْعَبْدِ إِذَا قَامَ فِي الصَّلَاةِ رَفَعَ اللَّهُ الْحِجَابَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ عَبْدِهِ. If a servant, a true servant, stands up for salat, Allah would let him in. Hijab would be removed between Allah and this servant. He's not a stranger, he's a trusted person. Hijab would be removed. وَوَاجَهَهُ بِوَجْهِهِ. Allah would encounter him with his face to face. Wajhullah, and this person also has come with his wajh, so would be best encounter. وَقَامَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ مِنْ لَدُنْ مِنْ كِبَيْ إِلَى, from shoulders up to the sky, angels will be occurring. When he says salat, they also send salutations. And when he says dua, some dua, they say Amin, yu'amminuna ala du'a'i. They send Amin. And then إن المصلي لينشر عليه البر من أعنان السماء إلى مفرق رأسه. Goodness would be distributed from skies or heaven, from sky up to his head. And a munadi, someone will call, لو علم المصلي من يناجي ما التفت. We had this before. If Musalli knew whom he is whispering to, he would not turn around. He would remain focused and perhaps doesn't want to stop his salat. وَإِنَّ أَبْوَابَ السَّمَاءِ تُفْتَحُ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Gates of heaven would be opened for musallin, those who say salat. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُبَاهِي مَلَائِكَتَهُ بِصِدْقِ الْمُصَلِّي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would do mubahat with his angels. This expression we have in several hadiths. Of course, the sifat al-fi'l means Allah is very happy in front of angels that there is such a servant who is with sidq and truthfulness is doing ibadah. Perhaps one reason Allah is very happy because the angels were questioning why Allah should appoint his vicegerent on the earth from human beings. And they said, يُفْسَدُ فِيهَا يَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاء. Now they can see the beautiful face of human beings as well. فَإِنَّ. Now you may say, okay, true, but what's the relation between what we said here and knowledge? We said Abwabu Sama will be opened and hijab would be removed. But what about knowledge? He says, فَإِنَّ رَفْعَ الْحِجَابِ وَفَتْحَ أَبْوَابِ السَّمَاءِ كِنَايَةٌ عَنْ إِفَاضَةِ الْعُلُومِ الْبَاطِنَةِ عَلَيْهِ. When we say hijab is removed, veil is removed, and gates of heaven are opened, it means that this person can see ghaib and get some ulum batinah. Ulum batinah means those things that you don't learn it in the school or by reading books. These are knowledge and information and ma'rifah which are hidden, means are not conventional. And it is mentioned in Torah, Yabna Adam, O son of Adam, لا تعجز أن تقوم بين يدي مصليا باكيا. Don't be incompetent, so incompetent that you cannot stand before me praying and crying. فأنا الله الذي اقتربت من قلبك. I am the one that got very close to your heart and you saw my light in ghaib. وبالغيب رأيت نوري. Also we have إن العبد إذا صلى ركعتين. When a servant makes two rak'ah salat properly, this properly is what I say because this is what it means. Then there would be rows of angels who would be very surprised in a positive way, and in every of these 10 rows there would be ashrat alaf, 10,000 angels. So altogether 100,000 angels. They are showing appreciation of this person who is saying salat properly, 2 rak'ah salat. Then Allama Naraghi has a kind of beautiful point here. Maybe it's new for you. He says Salat is such a beautiful combination of ruku and sujood and qira'ah, etc., that even angels are surprised with this. They don't have something like salat. Some angels have ruku all the way they are doing ruku. Some have sujood. Those who have ruku don't do sujood. Those who are doing sujood, they don't do ruku. And they are very surprised that human beings do all these things together. You know, salat is a mixture of actions and words, and hajj is a mixture of salat and tawaf and sa'i. So hajj is also amazing, but it involves salat. It's not without salat. وَذَلِكَ لَأَنَّ الْعَابْدِ جَمَعَ فِي الصَّلَاةِ. Why these angels come 100,000 and they are admiring this? Because this servant has put together qiyam, qu'ud, qiyam standing, qu'ud sitting, ruku bending, sujood prostration, الذكر باللسان, the ذكر, سبحان ربي العظيم وحمده, سبحان ربي العظيم, وغير ذلك, قراءة, تكبير. وليس لملك من الملائكة هذا القسم من العبادة الجامعة بين الكل. Angels don't have such ibadah which has all these things. بل هذه الأفعال موزعة عليهم. These actions are distributed among the angels. فبعضهم قائمون لا يركعون إلى يوم القيامة. Some of them are always in the condition of qiyam. They never go to ruku. فبعضهم قائمون لا يركعون إلى يوم القيامة. بعضهم ساجدون لا يرفعون إلى يوم القيامة. Some are in the condition of sajda. Up to the day of judgment, they don't come out of sajda. هكذا الراكعون. Some are always doing ruku. Some are قاعدون, always sitting. فإن ما أعطي الملائكة من القرب والرتبة لازم لهم مستمر على حالة واحدة لا تزيد ولا تنقص. According to many of our scholars, especially those who have philosophical approach, they say angels have fixed position. Whatever degree of nearness to Allah they have, it's fixed. Would not increase, would not decrease. وَلَيْسَ لَهُمْ مَرْتَبَةُ التَّرَقِّي مِنْ دَرَجَةٍ إِلَى أُخْرَى. They cannot rise and upgrade themselves. وَبَابُ الْمَزِيدِ مَسْدُودٌ عَلَيْهِمْ. There is no door open to them for increase. وَلِذَلِكَ قَالُوا وَمَا مِنَّا إِلَّا لَهُ مَقَامٌ مَعْلُومٌ. There is none of us except their position is fixed. بخلاف الإنسان. Insan is different. فإن له الترقي في الدرجات. Human beings can upgrade. والتقلب في أطوار الكمالات. They can have transformation. They can have changes. Of course, not always necessarily to the good, but they can change to the better, to the worse. ومفتاح مزيد الدرجات هي الصلاة. This is the sentence that we have to remember from today. If, inshallah, you remember many things from today, but especially remember this one. مفتاح مزيد الدرجات هي الصلاة. And angels don't have this miftah. The key for going to higher degrees is salat. Now you understand why we say as-salatu mi'rajul mu'min. Mu'min can ascend in salat. قال الله سبحانه. Let us refer to the Quran and benefit from Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون. Who have falah, who have success, salvation? Al-mu'minun, those who have true iman. But then after praising them for iman, Allah says they have salat, but a special salat, salatan makhsusa. What is the salat makhsusa? What is the special salat that they have? Khashi'un, salatul khashi'in. They have salat with khushu', with humility. And then also Allah says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. These are the people who are very much taking care of their salat. They are very careful about their salat, not to miss, not to delay. And then Allah says, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْوَارِثُونَ الَّذِينَ يَرِثُونَ الْفِرْدَوْسَ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. This is Surah Mu'minun, verses 9 to 11. So, these are those who inherit paradise. Hum fiha khalidun, and will be there forever. So, falah and inheriting heaven are for those who do proper salat. فَوَصَفَهُمْ بِالْفَلَاحِ أَوَّلًا وَبِوِرَاثَةِ الْفِرْدَوْسِ آخِرًا. In the beginning it says that they have falah, they have salvation, success, and then it says they are inheriting firdaus. Firdaus is the same as what we say paradise. It seems paradise is from the same thing. Firdaus in Farsi we have pardis. فالمصلون هم ورثة الفردوس وورثة الفردوس. Muttaqin are those who inherit Firdaus. Okay, what happens if someone inherits Firdaus? وَوَرَثَةُ الْفِرْدَوْسِ هُمُ الْمُشَاهِدُونَ لِنُورِ اللَّهِ بِقُرْبِهِ وَدُنُوِّهِ بِالْقَلْبِ. Those who inherit heaven are those who can witness and observe light of Allah by being near to Him with their heart. So in Salat, you can be like the people who are in heaven. And that's it, actually the key for getting there. وَكُلُّ عَاقِلٍ يَعْلَمُ. Of course, every rational person, every intelligent person understands that أَنَّ مُجَرَّدَ حَرَكَةِ اللِّسَانِ, just moving this tongue, وَالْجَوَارِحِ, moving your body, going to ruku, sujood, raising your hand, etc. مَعَ قَفْلَةِ الْقَلْبِ, while your heart is heedless, would not lead to this. So we are not talking about someone who just brings the physics of Salat. This is for people who bring Salat with presence of heart, with khuzu, with khushu, with haya, with tajleel, for ta'zim for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, alhamdulillah, this part also finished. Inshallah, in the next session, we will enter into another chapter about what Imamul Jama'ah should observe. ما ينبغي في إمام الجماعة. Imamul Jama'ah, in addition to observing everything we said so far, he has the role of leadership. So he has a greater responsibility, and therefore we have to discuss what should Imamul Jama'ah try to achieve and bring in Salat. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Okay.
In terms of questions, we have one question that I see here on the form, two now. So the first question is, why do we need shafa'ah if we have done the wajibat and kept away from haram? in reference to last week's discussion on tashahhud?
Because still there may be some sins that even we didn't notice, or if we notice, maybe we didn't manage to do tawbah. So we need shafa'ah for. This is why I say that those things that we know, we have to fix it ourselves, not let it for shafa'ah. But for sure, there are things that still we need help. Some shortcomings, something we forgot, we failed, etc. And maybe sometimes shafa'ah can be also in helping with raising your degree. So the example I use is that, for example, a student who studies hard, tries to be prepared for exam, maybe one question, 2 questions he doesn't know. Then the teacher may help with the activities that he had, class, activity, etc. Assignments, help him. But if you don't have anything and just want to benefit from help of the teacher, would not work. And why teacher should help you if you have not studied? Teacher can help someone that throughout the year was showing commitment, interest, doing things as much as he could. So now if something he doesn't know or he didn't get complete mark, he can help. He can intercede, for example, go and speak to the principal, etc.
Thank you. Next question says that some Shia read the salam and then turn their heads. Is that allowed?
After salam, it's okay. Not before salam. Before salam, we should not turn our face from qibla to the right or left. But when you are saying takbirat after salat, then that's different.
The next question is in terms of that taslim, at some point we say assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillah as-salihin. So what is the meaning and understanding behind assalamu alayna?
He didn't discuss that much, because also that according to, for example, people like Imam Khomeini, you can just say assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and even maybe some say wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh is not needed. So assalamu alayna wa ibadillah as-salihin, you can bring it, or you can bring assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Anyway, he didn't mention here that much about that. But who are these alayna? It seems that alayna are the people who are saying prayer, because in the discussions about social belaya, I said that it seems that salat is designed to be performed in jama'ah. If we do it furada, it's just okay, but the main order is to be in jama'ah. From iyyaka na'bud up to assalamu alayna is plural. Even if you look at adhan and iqama, it shows that it matches more with jama'ah. Yeah? Why I should say, if I am alone, hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, hayya. Even call for prayer is more suitable for jama'ah. So the whole thing is designed to be performed in jama'ah, but we can say, it's like you are forgiven if you do it furada. It's like that, that the main condition is jama'ah. So assalamu alayna, those who are here saying salat together. Although some people say, for example, the angels who are here, but maybe this is maybe more suitable, that we people who are doing salat here, but also we are not to be separating ourselves from other mu'mineen. Therefore we say وَعَلَىٰ عِبَادِ اللَّهِ الصَّالِحِينَ. عِبَادِ اللَّهِ الصَّالِحِينَ in other places, عِبَادِ اللَّهِ الصَّالِحِينَ maybe even in other times. They were also Ibadullah, some before us, after us. So we first unite ourselves as a team, then we unite this team with other teams. You're welcome.
Are there any other live questions at this time? It seems not. And in terms of the Facebook, we don't see any questions there, so I think this covers it for today's questions.
Inshallah.
Lots of thank yous also coming through on the chat.
Thank you. Inshallah, remember us your du'as, and we hope inshallah Allah would help us to benefit from this great month of Sha'ban, inshallah. Tamas dua. Thank you very much.